guys, it's Mary, and I know it's been a little while since I've had some YouTube videos out, but recently a company called VAGA sent me some awesome products to try, so I wanted to showcase them here to you guys. And here, all the designs I'm using are using a bunch of their products, and I'll have the links to their Facebook and their Amazon page in the description. I've got 5 designs for you guys here today, so let's get started. For this first design, I'm using their Bohemian Brown stamping plate. So I'm going to start by peeling off the blue plastic layer, so that I can actually get to the stamping plate. And after I've peeled that off, I'm going to apply some liquid latex around my nails to keep it from getting super messy. The stamper I'm using here is also from VAGA, and I'm going to be testing it out on a bunch of these designs. For this particular design, I'm going to do a stamping gradient, so I'm going to apply 2 different colors of stamping polish to the design, use the scraper, and stamp my stamper across. Then I'm just going to apply the stamper directly to the nail, and I'm just kind of squishing down to apply the image. Now I'm going to clean up my nail by taking a brush dipped in acetone and removing the liquid latex. And for the next nail, I'm just going to repeat the process, this time taking 2 different colors, scraping across, and squishing my stamper down onto the image. Then I'm just applying the image directly to the nail, and there you go. Again, then I remove the liquid latex, and I move on to the next nail. Again, 2 different colors, scrape across, squish my stamper down to pick up the image, and just apply it directly to the nail. And again, here I'm taking a cleanup brush dipped in acetone to kind of clean up the edges, then I just remove the liquid latex. And I'm just going to do that one last time for the last nail, taking 2 different colors, scraping, and applying the stamper to pick up the image. Again, just press the stamper onto the nail. Take a cleanup brush dipped in acetone or nail polish remover to kind of clean up the polish around the edges, then just remove the liquid latex. To finish the design, I'm going to add some rhinestones, also from VAGA. To apply them, I just brushed on some top coat and stuck them on. Then I just sealed in the design with the top coat, and that's it for this design. I hope you guys liked it, and stay tuned for the next one. For the next design, I'm using VAGA's Space Silver stamping plate. And once again, to start, I'm just applying some liquid latex around my nail. Then I cut up a sponge into some smaller pieces so that I could kind of dab on the little space gradient. The first color I'm starting with is this blue glitter, and I just kind of dip the sponge in and start dabbing it onto my nail. I'm just kind of applying it all around as the little base color for the gradient. Now this next color I'm using is super pretty, and I'm going to kind of dab that on over top as well. Now I'm using this plum purple, dipping my sponge in and just kind of dabbing it on to give it a little bit of color. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to go back to the purple and just kind of reapply some of the colors that kind of got hidden by the others. Like I said, now I'm going back to the blue glitter and I'm just applying that over top as well. Now I'm just going to kind of brush on some of the black base that I used because that kind of got covered up as well. Once I'm done with that, I'm just going to peel off the old latex and then apply some new latex because I'm going to stamp after this. Once again, here I'm using VAGA's stamper and scraper to pick up the image. Then I just press the image directly onto my nail. I'm going to repeat the process with a couple different designs on the stamping plate, but I'm just doing the same thing. And here I'm using a pencil stamper from Born Pretty Store just to pick up some smaller images so that they're easier to stamp. And again, I'm just going to squish that down onto my nail. And I'm kind of switching in between the pencil stamper and VAGA stamper, just depending on how big the size of the image is. Once I'm done stamping, I'm going to take some rhinestones and apply them to my nail, just using a bit of top coat to make them stick. These rhinestones are also from VAGA, and they're great to use to finish off just about any design. And now on to the next design. I'm starting by applying some more liquid latex around my nail because I'm going to do a radial gradient or a circular gradient. To do a radial gradient, just apply the colors kind of like this, then just dab onto your nail kind of carefully to make sure that the middle color is in the center of your nail. I'm going to do this a few times just to make sure that it's nice and opaque and blended in. Once I'm happy with how the gradient looks, I peel off the liquid latex. And now I start stamping. I'm going to use a couple different images from their crown/queen themed stamping plate. And for a couple of nails, I'm just going to use a pink stamping polish and stamp it directly over a white base. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to use some striping tape sent to me by VAGA to finish off these nails. Using some nail clippers to make sure the striping tape is as close as possible to the size of my nail. For the next nail, I'm going to apply some striping tape in a vertical design because this time I'm going to be using them as vinyls. I'm just going to apply the polish that I want and then peel the striping tape directly off of my nail. You can peel them off with tweezers like I'm doing here or with your fingers. Now I'm going to go back to the nail that I originally did the gradient on to stamp on some other designs. And I'm going to use this same image here again to stamp over the white that I originally did to create kind of a layered look. And I tried to line them up so that the pink would just barely be covering the white, but that didn't really work. To finish the design, I'm just going to be adding a couple other rhinestones from VAGA to a couple of the designs. And once I'm all done, I'm just going to seal it all in with a top coat. And that's it for this design. I hope you guys liked it. For this next design, I'm going to again start by applying some latex around my nail. Then I'm going to apply some colors onto a sponge because I'm going to be doing a gradient for this nail. I'm applying these because I'm going to make kind of a summer sunset, or at least try to. Kind of like the gradient in the last design, I'm going to apply this a couple of times to make sure that all the colors are blended how I want them. Then I just peel off the latex and move on to the next nail, where I am also going to apply some latex. But only near the front of my nail because that's just where I'm going to be applying polish. I'm brushing on a teal color here, and then once I'm done with that, I'm going to move on and kind of dab on some white to kind of create the look of waves or the ocean. Once I'm done with that, I'm gonna move on and then brush on some darker blue over the teal to again make it look more like the ocean. Here I'm using a detail brush from VAGA, then I just apply some acetone with it to kind of blend in the blue. Then I just peel off the latex and, you guessed it, apply some more. This latex was a little bit older, which is why it kind of looks like that. Now I'm using VAGA's beach themed stamping plate, and for the first nail, and I'm gonna stamp this one onto the sunset gradient that I did. I'm squishing it on to make sure that the image stays, then I just peel off the latex around this nail. Then for my ocean themed nail, I'm going to stamp on this fish to kind of make it look like little fishies swimming in the ocean. Then I just take a dotting tool and add a couple dots by the fish to kind of finish off the nail. I had originally applied latex around the nail because I was stamping, but then I realized I didn't really need it. And now that this design is done, I'm just going to seal it in with a top coat and move on to the next design. For the last design I'm going to show you guys today, I'm using some detail brushes that VAGA sent. To start, I'm going to apply some acrylic paint, just kind of in little circles, because I'm going to make these into roses. And while I wait for those to dry, I start with the base of my next flower. I'm using some light pink paint to just kind of paint on some petals, and I'm going to do that in a couple different spots. And for one more different kind of flower, I'm going to apply some smaller petals, and again I'm going to paint these in a couple different spots. And don't be afraid to kind of overlap some of the flowers with each other. And now I'm going to add some other details. I'm starting with my tiny flowers, and I'm just going to kind of blend in this other color. And I'm going to do that for all of my smaller flowers. And then for my roses, I'm going to take this kind of lilac color around to kind of make some of the petals. I'm starting from the center and moving out to kind of make the petals overlap a little bit. Then I take the same color that I used for the center of the smaller flowers, and I'm going to do the same thing a little bit over the violet. I'm just doing this to make the roses look a little bit more layered. And now for my big light pink flowers, I'm going to take this other color of pink and just kind of brush on some details. Then once I'm done just kind of brushing that on, I'm going to take a different color and apply some darker details. I'm just painting this on kind of near the petals and around the center to kind of make the petals look like they're sprouting out. And while I wait for the flowers to dry, I'm going to move on and add some leaves. I'm starting with this kind of army green, and I'm just going to paint some general shapes around the flowers. Then I took this kind of grayish color to give the leaves just a little bit of detail. Then I take that same army green as before and paint it inside the big flowers. Now this might seem a little weird, but trust me, it'll work. Then I take some dotting tools from VAGA, and I'm gonna add some gold dots around to just kind of give a little bit more detail. And you can use a bunch of different sizes of the dotting tools to create a bunch of different sizes of dots. And once I'm done, I'm just going to apply a coat of top coat, and that's it. I hope you guys liked all of the designs I shared with you today. I would love to see some of you guys recreate these designs or create some of your own using some VAGA products. Again, I'll have the link to VAGA's Amazon and Facebook in the description so that you can check them out. VAGA was super nice to send me all of these amazing products to try, so be sure to go check them out. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for watching.